On guys, this is Psycho Chef and I'm bringing you another video on a Gen 7 Pokemon that has not yet been revealed. There have been leaks. The game's come out in about a week and a half at the time this video was made, but I am so ready for them to come out, and this is probably one of my favorite Pokemon out of all the new leaks. So let's get right into it. This is Araquanid or Araquanid, however you want to say it, but I love this Pokemon already. I haven't even got one yet, but I'm just, oh my gosh, I'm so blown away. So if you look at his stats, first of all, they're not that special. I mean, other than that amazing special defense, that above average defense, and that decent HP stat. But other than that, 42 speed, he's slow. That's all you can really say about it. Special attack at only 50, that's pretty awful. And 70 attack leaves a lot to be desired, but it's usable. And the only reason I say that is because of his ability. So his abilities, I'm sure everybody recognizes one. Water Absorb. It's probably one of the best defensive abilities in the game, in my opinion at least. But the new ability, Water Bubble, actually does two things. It gives him a resistance to fire. It reduces fire type damage. I assume it's by half, since that's how most abilities like that work. But it also prevents him from being burned, which is why I think this thing would be amazing with an Assault Vest. Because whenever I would run Mons like Golurk, for example, in Gen 6, the biggest problem I would have with him is he would get burned so easily. Because even though he's so strong, he's slow. So it's easy for a faster Pokemon with Will-O-Wisp to just come in, burn him, hit him with a Scald, and make him useless, pretty much. But getting into this Pokemon's resistances and weaknesses, this is probably one of my favorite type combinations of all time. I have been waiting for Bug Water type since Gen 3 with Surskit, who's absolute garbage. And we actually got at least 2 final evolutions Bug Water types in this generation. One was Golisopod that I already covered in another video, and then we have Araquanid. And I just love the typing. It resists water, it resists ice, it resists fighting, ground, steel. It resists so many important types in the meta. And it only has 3 weaknesses. Electric, which means it can't switch in on a Volt Switch, which is a problem for Assault Vest Mons, but I think it could fill a certain spot on a team if it needed to. It's weak to Rock, so Stealth Rocks are a problem, and I'm sure they're going to be huge in this meta. And then it's weak to Flying. But with those 5 resistances and the fire resistance from the Water Bubble ability, I think that this could be a monster. So let me show you guys the set that I came up with. It's probably not going to be anywhere close to the meta of how this mon is used, but I think I'm going to use it all the time. So the set I came up with was Assault Vest with an Adamant Nature, because it desperately needs power if it's going to be running 4 attacking moves. And I got it with almost max health, but so they can switch in on Stealth Rocks. I've got it with max attack because it really needs it. I've got it with a little bit of defense just to use up those last EVs. So the moves I decided to put on him were Liquidation, which we discussed in the Golisopod video, but in case you didn't catch that one yet, it is a base 85 physical water type move that has a chance of lowering the opponent's defense. It has 100% accuracy, and it's the reason that I think Assault Vest is feasible, because if this mon can lower your opponent's defense, and it's going to be doing a lot more damage with all of its different attacks. The next move is one that I'm honestly excited about, Leech Life, the move that Zubats would spam you with on Mount Moon. A move that has been forgotten and inferior to every other move in the game almost for 6 generations. It's finally coming back as a TM, and it got a buff similar to Knockout. This is not Punch Out. Similar to Knockoff's buff in Gen 6. So now it is base 80 physical, and it still heals you. So another great move for a non-burnable mon with an Assault Vest to get some health back and to take more hits. It also gets Crunch, that I thought would be good for hitting ghost types or different Pokemon that it wouldn't have coverage for. And then it gets Poison Jab or Facade, and that's really the end of its decent moves that aren't redundant typings. So, why I like this Pokemon so much, it takes 50% maximum from a Timid Life Orb Draco Meteor from a Latios. It takes like 18% from a Moonblast from a Clefable, or Clefable, however you prefer to say it. And then it can deal back 90% on the Latios. It can deal back, it can almost 2-hit KO a Clefable, depending on the spread. But I just think this thing would be so good in the Gen 6 meta, and the meta is obviously going to change a lot. But I think that this will still be one of the best and most unexpected switch-ins for some different Pokemon that are so much trouble in the current meta. But some other moves that I want to go over, it gets a move called Lunge, and Lunge is another new move, and it's very similar to Liquidation. It's slightly weaker, but it's still a physical water-type move. I believe it's base 80, but it reduces attack instead of defense. So if you wanted this thing to live longer instead of do more damage, then that would probably be the better move to run. If you decided not to run the Assault Vest, you could run Reflect with it, help that physical defense out, pretty much double that physical defense, still have that crazy high special defense, and you will be just living forever. You can probably run Toxic, Protect, and run a Toxic team, because from what I've heard, Toxic is going to be the new, like, biggest status to be running on any Pokemon because of all the different abilities coming out with it. So that could be a set. Another one that probably won't ever be used, but I thought it would be pretty funny, is to give this thing leftovers, make it super bulky, give it Aqua Ring, and give it Infestation, and just let it wear the opponent's Pokemon away super slowly while it's gaining back 12% a turn. So I think that would be funny to watch, if nothing else. And then the last one is more of just a silly doubles idea. This thing gets Entrainment, and it gets Surf. So the idea is give your partner Water Absorb and hopefully survive one turn in doubles, and then start spamming Surf over and over. And you're healing your partner 25% every turn, you're doing a little bit of damage, you only have 50 base special attacks, so you're probably not doing much damage, but you're doing a little damage to everything else on the field. So I think this thing will probably not be OU or super high tier, but I could see it doing some work somewhere. Even if it's PU, I can't wait to use it.